I think that
yes or no question.
I think that a person who was assigned male at birth, I don't think they
assigned male at birth, so people are not male at birth.
I think that a person.
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
So would you say in some cases women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not. They're not murderers.
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
That was actually the best point somebody made.
It's not about the cell. It's not about. No. I'm speaking. No, 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 I'm speaking.
Hello, everyone. I am Charilie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, and I am surrounded by 20 woke college kids. My first prompt is, abortion is murder and should be illegal. All right.
Can I maybe go?
Okay, hello, what's your name?
Juliana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
we get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. And then murder is the intentional taking of life, different than killing or sudden death. So murder would be the intent with intent taking another life. Do we agree with that?
Okay.
Okay, and then we agree that murder in general in society should be illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I do want to preface that I'm a Catholic. So I think one really important thing that the Bible says is to not judge. And just going back to the topic, I think there's a big difference between, cells in utero than a living, breathing, existing being. And while I do believe it's murder, and that's just my personal belief, right? I don't believe in telling people what to do with their bodies. That's not up to me, and it's not up to us as well as Christians to judge.
Should we prevent murder in society?
For sure, yeah.
It should be illegal.
But I think that it's really different, right? Because, these people aren't.
Sorry, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, what's your name?
Naima.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, can I just ask, at how many weeks do you think that a fetus is viable?
Well, viability and moral worth are two different things.
No, but I'm asking you, at how many weeks do you think
at
a
about
fetus
20
is
weeks,
viable?
a baby can survive outside of utero.
So it's actually 24 to 26
Well, it's
weeks?
20. The youngest ever in a NICU unit actually happened in San Diego, not far from here, and survived at 20 weeks.
Okay, so under Roe v. Wade, 93% of abortions happened in the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. That's 93% of the abortions happened well before a fetus is technically viable as a form of life.
Let's go into viability. So what is it about, let's say, a 6-week baby that has a heartbeat, its own DNA, fingerprint, brainwaves, that is less moral worth than an 88-year-old right now with dementia in a home down the street? That person requires assistance, requires help. Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
A big important difference is the concept of bodily autonomy. Bodily autonomy is the backbone of the my body, my choice argument. Under the law of bodily autonomy or bodily integrity, no one is allowed to use your body without consent, regardless of the potential positive outcome. For example, many people die each year because they require a kidney transplant. Each person is born with 2 kidneys and only requires 1. Would it be morally just for every 18-year-old to be tied to a hospital bed and have their kidneys forcibly removed, even if it would save the life of another? The law of bodily autonomy states no.
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the I'm sorry, is this
It means little human being.
This moment has become a meme recently, so much so that if you look up what does fetus mean in Latin, the next word that pops up in your recommendations is guy, referencing Charlie here. By the way, hate to ruin his fun, but fetus doesn't even mean little human being in Latin.
Ooh, the smile is very creepy. Okay.
Smiling is creepy?
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back to, we're losing track here.
No, but what species is the fetus?
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is viable.
So,
now, I want to talk to you about something very
I
quickly.
can't leave it past that. Are you saying a baby is a disease or a tumor?
So I looked at several different places, and it seems like technically she's correct if you follow the strict definition of a parasite. Obviously, that's ridiculous because it's a normal part of reproduction, but technically it follows the definition. But I don't know what he's talking about because parasites aren't a disease or tumor. So both of them kind of sound dumb. I don't know.
A parasite is not a disease and a tumor. Those are not the same thing. A parasite is defined as something that cannot survive outside of its host. A baby, before it is viable, cannot survive outside of a woman's womb.
Got it. So let's extrapolate that.
It is not a living organism.
Are old people with Alzheimer's and dementia that are being assisted every day, are they parasites?
No, they're not parasites. They're human beings who are on the brink of death.
Got it. So
they're not going to be able to survive.
My 4-month-old that requires mom's breast milk and requires daily changes and feedings cannot survive without its own. Is my 4-month-old a parasite?
Not unless they live on or in you, but this is a stupid argument anyway, so whatever.
Your baby can breathe on its own. Your baby can drink water from its mouth to its stomach.
But it cannot,
your baby can
it
eat
hunt?
food.
Can it gather? Can it reason?
But that's not what qualifies something as being a living organism. Being a living organism simply means, can you survive outside of a womb, outside of your host?
Got it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Why does that then equate to moral viability?
It equates to scientific viability.
Why? Under what standard?
Because it is not alive, and you are advocating for the rights of something that is not technically a life.
Got it. So what is it something that
She is correct, but it doesn't matter. One of the things I find interesting is that many people focus on strictly scientific discussions related to abortion, which I think are useless without the moral and philosophical discussions. Perhaps it's because more people like to engage in scientific rather than philosophical discussions. I'm not sure, but this kind of conversation is getting them nowhere. Simply stating a definition proves nothing, because even though a fetus doesn't fit the scientific criteria for being alive, one person just made the definition up, and it depends on who you ask. And even if it's not alive, this doesn't necessarily disprove the fetus's right towards ethical consideration. Keep in mind the fundamental question that you are asking, because it can be easy to find yourself in a mess of definitions and hearsay. The fundamental question you should be engaging with are: 1. Does the principle of bodily autonomy apply in this circumstance? 2. What makes a person a person? Find what you think is valuable about a person, and you're likely to find this answer. 3. How does the stage of development affect the situation? 4. What about extreme circumstances like rape and incest? These are the questions that need to be discussed, and not in short bursts as you move from topic to topic, but in depth.
The needs of the human woman who is alive.
Got it. So, but a mom can survive
Yes.
without the baby in her, right?
Yes.
The baby cannot survive without the mom,
Yes.
but a mom cannot survive without her lungs. So it's not her body, it's in her body. It's not
Yeah,
her
I
DNA,
know.
so it's not her choice. So it's
It actually is directly her DNA.
it's
It is 100%. It's 50% of her DNA.
half her DNA. He's gonna win, I'm telling you. This could take a while.
Okay, first of all,
Do we have our terms correct? We agree?
Actually, no. So first
Okay,
of all,
got it.
I'd like to refine our terms. I have
Got
2
it.
points to bring up after that, though. So you define murder as like intentionally like killing a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very poor way to define murder, because if someone were to like break into my home and point a gun at the heads of me and everybody I love, and I intentionally kill them to prevent them from killing my family, I don't think I murdered them, right? So I would define murder as the unjustified termination of a human life.
You're making a good point. Let me further clarify that. So self-defense is very warranted.
Exactly, right?
But I can see where you're going to go with how that has to go with abortion, but we can go down that journey in a second.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I kind of do want to give you my argument insofar as why I'm pro-choice, so I think it's justified. But first, I think that, your position is quite absurd, right? Because you're saying that it is murder to kill a human being, right, at any point in development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent its implantation, intentionally killing it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not necessarily the same thing as terminating a fertilized egg. For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not the same thing. Preventing the production of progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay.
It sounds like his claim is that if you don't know for sure that you're killing a baby, then it's okay.
Yeah,
Do
so
you?
preventing a fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
So what do you say in some cases, women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that.
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
Well, so you're asking two separate things. If they knew for certain, to be more clear, that I have a fertilized egg and I'm going to take a drug to prevent that fertilized egg from attaching to their uterine wall, then yes, that is an act of killing or murder.
Disgusting bad faith argument that I pray his opponent pushes against. He can't possibly think this. If I have a loaded gun and I point it at a house with children in it and I shoot the gun and there's a 1 in 3 chance that that a child would die, should I be allowed to continuously shoot at the house without repercussion because it's not murder, because there's only a chance that a child would die?
Okay, so do you think all murderers should go to jail?
Do I think all murderers should go to jail? I mean, on third degree murder. However, no, I don't think women that got abortions or had IUDs should go to jail, because I think that they have been deceived by mass culture and mass propaganda. Secondly, the people who should go to jail are the abortionists, who are the ones that have been putting the abortion pill, the ones that have been doing procedures, the ones that have been going into the 3rd trimester and breaking babies' backs and inserting them with syringes while the babies are crying and suffocating, being born alive, and then being dead on the operating table. Okay. That is who should go to jail.
Oh.
That was actually the best point somebody made.
We'll have to talk about
I know.
that.
Okay, whenever I'm talking about this discussion, I always go to the question of what about in the case of the mother when her life is in danger? Because I'm a big believer. I don't know. I'm still iffy on if I think it's or if it's murder or not. But even so, I mean, I don't want to say murder is justified. Guys, wait, let me just get this one point, and then you can vote me out. Give me 1 second. Say the mother gets pregnant and she knows that if she gives birth, she's going to die. She has some kind of health complication. Then what do you do in that
Cesarean
case?
section.
I don't know what that means.
It's a C-section. They
Oh,
do an insert.
guys, wait, hold on. One second.
They go right below the belly button and they deliver the baby. And after she doesn't have to give birth, it's technically birth, but it's much safer. So that's actually safer than an abortion procedure.
Wrong. You're way more likely to die from giving birth than from abortion. It's not even close. According to PubMed, central abortion-related mortalities are 0.7 per 100,000, whereas according to CDC.gov, maternal-related mortalities are 32.9 per 100,000. That means you're 47 times more likely to die from giving birth.
Sorry, Lily. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
What's your name?
Deedon.
Nice
to
to meet
meet you. I would say with abortion, I think it's very complicated, but I think the issue that I have primarily with your stance of being pro-life, that there's no nuance. There's women who are being forced to travel hundreds of miles to access abortion care, even in cases of rape in certain states that they're not giving any sort of allowance for that. And I think, a lot of people who are pro-life, they say that they're pro-life, but I feel like they're really pro-birth because with firearms, the United States has some of the highest firearm deaths out of OECD nations, right? And we can acknowledge that that's for children who are actually living and breathing. So I feel like abortion, while it is, I can definitely see your point. I just think that it should be allowed in some circumstances.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I'm happy to get into the gun violence stuff later, but I want to really stay focused on abortion.
Right.
You can say you see my point. Can you see the world also where, since we know it's a human life, that it should be illegal since we don't allow murder in our society?
Well, that's where I have an issue because abortion is not being done willy-nilly. It's like the life of the mother is always.
How many abortions do you think we have every day in America? Just guess.
I'm not sure.
Guess.
I'm honestly not sure. Maybe, I don't know, 1,000?
4,000 a day. So it is kind of willy-nilly. We have 1.6. Sorry. Hello.
I just want to clarify, the thing that you're aiming for is less abortion, right? That would be what you would want, or at least no abortion.
Eventually, it's also a protection of those that can't protect themselves. But yes, and that's why after the reversal of Roe versus Wade, we saw abortions go down dramatically in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. We saw thousands of babies that are now alive and well that are able to have amazing lives thanks to the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
I don't think a lot of that is true.
Well, it is, but
it's not true because when you make abortion illegal, it doesn't actually decrease the amount of
that's a
abortions
nice
that happen.
talking point. In Texas, the numbers show differently. The birth rate has gone up.
Yeah, legal goes down, but illegal abortions still happen. Abortions still happen outside of whatever data you're
That's
showing.
not true, but let's just say well, if you want to, well, first of all, if you count the abortion pill, you're right, but that's a separate thing than a chemical abortion and surgical abortion are different things. And I'm not debating you. I'm debating her. So if you want to do the flags and come back in, try and be faster next time. So let me ask you this. So the question is, we should try to limit unjust suffering of human beings, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's my position. Is that there's unjust suffering of anywhere between 1.4 to 1.6 million abortions a year of human beings that are being massacred in the womb. And so that's not a women's rights issue, that's not a men's rights issue, that's just a human rights issue.
Okay, the best way to decrease abortions happening is proper sex education. Limiting abortion and making abortion illegal does not actually decrease the amount of abortions that happen.
So what is your evidence of that?
What is my evidence of that?
Because we have increased sex education in the last 30 years.
No, our sex education is so bad in America.
Well, by bad, what do you mean by that? We have more access to birth control for young kids. We have more kids that are learning to do birth control at a younger age. We have more of that in our public school system, and we've seen all the trends actually go in a negative direction. So, in fact, we see that the more sex education there is, the more disturbing those trends are. So you say that. Let me ask you just one more thing. You say that if we make abortion illegal, people will still do it. Should we then just make gang violence legal because
no, I'm saying if you actually wanted to decrease the amount of abortions that happen, you wouldn't be advocating for to make abortion illegal. You'd be advocating for all of these other things.
Does that logic apply to stealing, looting, kidnapping, arson, and murder?
Well, actually, it does because those are results of different societal issues that you should be educating yourself on rather than making it illegal at the front.
Should we make kidnapping, arson, burglary, murder legal because they're symptoms of something else?
We should be helping society heal from those
You gotta
things.
answer the question. We want less of those things. Should we just make them legal and we'll get less looting?
Actually, I'm gonna let someone else.
Thank you very much. Hi, Parker. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Big TikTok guy here.
So, pedophiles, people who were married to children in the past and normalized in that society, should they go to prison?
Should pedophiles?
Like, if you could go back in time, would you put those pedophiles in prison that married those children because it was normalized? They were deceived into thinking it's okay. Would you put them in prison?
You got to slow down.
Sorry.
Pedophiles should get the death penalty.
No. So you go back in the past, you give them the death penalty, even though they were deceived into thinking it was okay. But you said people who get abortions who are women shouldn't go to prison.
But it's not currently illegal.
Okay, regardless. At that time, it wasn't.
No, I would not go back and retroactively enforce laws where things were currently not illegal.
You wouldn't put pedophiles in prison in the past.
Hold on a second. When was it legal in America?
Well, child marriage was legal in America throughout the early 1900s and especially throughout most of society for thousands of years, especially in the Old Testament and in the Bible.
Hold on a second. So where's the Levitical law that allows you to marry a child?
Oh, yeah.
Can you name the verse?
Well, I can't name the verse, but the particular conditions that are listed in the Bible are that you have to be physical maturity and emotional maturity, which is extremely vague and throughout society has been seen to be met at puberty.
There is not a verse, but let's kind of go
back.
So
when is age consent under your view?
Let's go back to, well, generally agreed upon is 18 years old. But let me ask you.
But you, because you don't go based on what's generally agreed, you go based on the Bible.
I say 18 years old, but let me ask you a question.
Where's that in the Bible?
When does life begin?
Conception.
Conception, great. So good. So should we protect all life at conception?
I care about sentient life, not cellular life.
So when do brainwaves start?
Do you think brain dead people should be able to pull the plug on, like families should be able to pull the plug on an individual?
Hold on, you gotta answer the question. When do brainwaves start?
You can see brainwaves around 6 to 8 weeks, which in brain dead individual there are brainwaves as well. So the brainwaves necessary to produce a subjective experience are met until around 18 to 26 weeks in the womb.
Can you see it from my perspective that at 6 to 8 weeks those brainwaves will actually increase, not decrease, if allow the process of development to continue?
Did you know those same EEG scans exist in brain dead people that you don't think are sentient?
But the difference with the brain dead people is that the likelihood of those brainwaves actually increasing is very low. At 6 to 8 weeks, when by 15 weeks they can hear the mom's voice.
It's irreversible sensation. That's what brain death is.
Hold on, but no,
it's not coma.
But you're doing a red herring. Go back to
it's not. What's a red herring?
A red herring is where you avoid the topic and you say something that is adjacent or symmetrical to what I'm saying, but not actually what I'm saying.
That's not a red herring.
A 6 to 8 week baby, if they're allowed to continue to develop, what ends up happening?
At a certain point, it will become a sentient being in the future. The same way that if I keep engaging in sex with my girlfriend, there'll be a baby in the future. Yet I don't care about the
unless you're infertile, which we don't know. But so let's see the process of development, right? Why do you have the ability or the right?
Should those child P3s go to prison?
The process of
should the pedophiles go to prison
from 1904? How many pedophiles are alive from 1904?
They're not alive. Right? I meant like if you can go back in the past, hypothetically speaking, and you could put them in prison. Would you put them in prison?
I would kill them myself if I was alive.
Okay, so then you don't apply it based upon what people are deceived to believe. You apply it based on what you consider to be moral. So women who had abortions, you think they should go to prison. So why should women who get abortions go to prison? But someone like my mom who told me that Santa Claus shouldn't go to prison.
This is not going to be a constructive debate if you keep on talking over me.
Well, I was finishing my statement. You were talking over me.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you think it would be a good thing if we had less abortions in America?
It depends on the context.
This poor guy has asked like 5 really good questions, and he is just refusing to engage with every single one of them, and he is just asking clarifying questions in order to dodge. He's using bad faith tactics.
Are the abortions prior to sentience?
Yes,
Because
all abortions.
No, it would not be necessarily
are you
better
against
unless it is
late-term
the case that the
abortion?
people didn't want the abortions and it would be negatively impactful to their health medically
Are
speaking.
you against
Because
late-term
women,
abortion?
After sentience, yes.
Okay, so you believe in an 8-week abortion ban?
Yeah. No, I don't. Sorry, I believe in an abortion ban after 18 through 26 weeks.
Okay, that's a more
I'm-
reasonable position. I have to give you credit for that.
It's similar to Trump's. 15 weeks?
Yeah, so why do you think that most people don't share your view on that?
Well, people just don't really know what sentience is. There's not a lot of conversation about abortion, and these conversations are very difficult. Like they're conceptually hard to go through, and I understand why a lot of people don't understand
for sure.
their positions on it.
So
But I think
you
people
are
have
aware the most
you're cutting me off.
Americans
I thought we weren't cutting people off.
I was actually complimenting you. How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's like in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion should be legal?
There's a very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do
where-
think
hold on
that a
one
couple
second.
cases
Hold
it
on.
is legal?
If cesarean section is not going to save the mother's life, and the mother's life is actually at risk, which is debated amongst growing numbers of OBGYNs,
Okay.
that is the only case where abortion should be
Do you
allowed.
think there should-
But people say that it is a growing consensus in the pro-life world that abortion is never medically necessary.
Okay, so if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was going to give birth, and
do
she would
have a
no wait,
daughter.
and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's no, but it's a real life scenario that happens
Calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in one is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was probably hopefully
which person
conceived by
here?
a
Which
somewhat
person here
loving
was conceived by?
couple.
Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights.
But
and it's all
that
human
doesn't
beings.
matter.
So
It's about your daughter who has to give
no.
birth to it and is going to be tortured by that
Hold
for
on
the
a
rest of
second.
her life.
You are
That's
not-
going to take away every
hold on a
freedom
second.
she's ever going to have.
Hold on.
That's going to
Every
ruin
freedom.
her life. She's going to grow up and she's going to be
Abortion
attached
is
to
not a
another
victimless
thing.
crime. The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant. What human rights you get.
But-
Hold on a second. If a person conceived in walks on the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's
or
not
14th
about that
rights.
person.
The worst thing to do to the daughter is to then say, hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you.
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say
it
something
wouldn't.
evil happened and we do something good in the face of
No.
evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
It's not about the beings, the cells. It's not about. No. I'm speaking. No, 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 I'm speaking. Thank you. So it's not. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the person. No. I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't get. No, listen. The fetus, the whatever. I don't care about that right now until it is formed. If there is a 5-year-old child who is pregnant and the baby is 2 weeks in utero, actually they have given birth. There is one recorded case of a 5-year-old girl who gave birth.
Is that common?
Yes, it's common. 5-year-olds get sometimes, and if they get pregnant, I think they should be able to have medical access to something that could save not only just their life but like their livelihood.
How many? I'm curious.
I hope your daughter lives a very happy life and gets away from you.
Okay, so